basketball. The Bucks made the move to acquire Michael Carter-Williams. He had some big moments for them so far. Jason Kidd wants to mold him as their point guard of the future. Do you see that working out, Kenny?
I think it could work out. You know why? Because he plays like his coach a little bit. You know, he has a similar style of play, and hopefully he could have a career like Jason Kidd. That would be great. But he looks to make plays first for his teammates and then himself second. But if he develops his jump shot, that will be the difference.
No, he's what I call a fast first type point guard. You know, helps set up their wing players. MCM, he's the guy to do that. Great work by Jason Kidd in molding the young fella.
Time now to tip things off. Kevin Harlan has the call, and we will see you later.
On the floor for the visiting Milwaukee Bucks. At small forward, Chris Copeland. At center, John Henson. At point guard, Michael Carter-Williams. At the other guard position, Chris Middleton. At the other forward position, Greg Monroe. The head coach of the visiting team is Jason Kidd. At the power forward position, 6 feet 7 inches, number 13, Quincy Eason. The other forward, 6 feet 7 inches, number 31, Karan Butler. At the shooting guard position, standing 6'5", number 3, Marco Bellinelli. At the other guard position, 6'0", number 7, Darren Collison. Man in the middle, standing 6'11", number 15, DeMarcus Cousins.
Thanks for joining us live for NBA basketball on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan, joined by my colleagues Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. We'll see Milwaukee taking on Sacramento. And they're looking forward to some production now from Rajon Rondo now that he's back.
Kevin, it's really good to have him back. I mean, they played well without him. Now the issue is, can they integrate him into what they were doing when he was gone and become even better? That's always a delicate balancing act.
They really hit on something that worked for them after he went down with that injury. They don't want to get away from that, but if he's healthy, you've got to figure out a way to integrate him back into that system.
Here are the starters for Milwaukee. Carter-Williams is the point with Middleton at the 2. Chris Copeland is out there with Monroe. And it's Henson in at the 5 spot. Now here's Collison. Down low, deflects the pass. And Middleton kicks to Copeland. Takes the assist and lays it in. Picked out the pass nicely.
Loved the assist. I mean, he knew exactly where that bounce pass had to be to create that opportunity.
Mark, when you take a look at John Henson, you see one thing, length.
Yeah, a lot of it, too. I mean, he measures 6'9" with a 7'5" wingspan at the 2012 NBA Combine. His standing reach is actually 3.5 inches greater than that of Anthony Davis. Wow.
Wow, that's right. And so it's Milwaukee now. Sacramento making their last shot. Carter-Williams dishes to Monroe. Good on the shot. Monroe's got his first 2 points.
How about 3 or 4 from the floor to start? That's always a good sign.
Screen by Cousins. Collison kicks to Cousins. Dishes to Bellinelli. Collison gets a wide open look. No good on the 3.
I'm shocked that didn't turn into 3 points. I mean, he makes you pay on those nearly every time.
From past the arc, score the basket, his second of 2 attempts.
You know, you're going to have success when you can start out shooting 80% from the game. So early offensively, they've been great. That's the way you like to start.
Now here's Collison. He picked up 12 points in their last win again.
And also defensively, guys, he kept them off balance with 4 steals on the night.
Here's Middleton, 7-point differential. They talk about players who don't get a lot of recognition that probably deserve some. For me, Chris Middleton, Clark.
He's at the top of the list in that regard for me too, Kevin. I mean, really a revelation for the Bucks the last couple of years. He's a really good all-around forward who can do everything well.
And Middleton has improved every year as well. Added the 3-point shot after the rookie season, which made him very tough to deal with offensively. And for Middleton, adding that 3-point shot was huge. I mean, not only can he keep teams honest outside, but he hits over 40% of his shots from beyond the arc.
Middleton hits them both.
And boy, how good was Chris Middleton last season? I mean, always a deep shooter who could stretch the floor. He hits the weight room in the offseason and became a much stronger defender. Now, he's one of the more promising 3-and-D guys in the league.
Milwaukee's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. And I think Doris Burke has something for us right now. Doris?
Kevin, I had a chance to catch up with George Karl for just a few moments. We discussed their game plan defensively, and he mentioned that controlling Greg Monroe will be crucial. He said Monroe is a guy who can score inside, rebounds well, and his passing really sets him apart. Their offense runs best when it goes through his hands, so pressuring him and staying vigilant is essential for us. Guys, can they slow him down?
All right, Doris, thanks. Collison, the pass to Butler. AC dishes to Bellinelli. There's the pick. Pass to Butler. Just 5 on the clock. The rebound by the Bucks. And for Chris Middleton last season, he went up in points, assists, rebounds, but went down in turnovers.
Boy, what an improvement for this young man. A late bloomer. I liked him when he was at Texas A&M, still growing into his body, playing with great confidence, and he can spray that thing from 3. I like his promise.
Timeout is called. First of the game for Sacramento.
And believe it or not, it wasn't the stars that led the charge for them in that win. It was about the role players. I mean, the guys who they don't usually count on for the lion's share of their points came through.
Guys, simply a complete team performance, and road wins where everybody contributes really can galvanize a team and bring it together.
Some changes for Sacramento. Caspi, he's checked in for Quincy Acey. Ben McLemore comes in for Marco Bellinelli. Rajon Rondo subbed in for Darren Collison. The Bucks also changing it up. Miles Plumlee's checked in for Henson. Vasquez comes in for Chris Copeland. And Jared Bayless subbed in for Carter Williams. Now here's Rondo. He gives a bit of a scoring lift to the team, averaging 8 points a game. Feeds it to Caspi. Bayless grabs the board.
That is some tough defense there against one of the better finishers in our game.
And Middleton kicks to Bayless. No good with the triple. Sacramento trails by 11. Here's Cousins. Gets the 14-footer to fall. Cousins has got his first basket of the night.
Yeah, that's asking a lot from that defender.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, he just doesn't have the size to really be effective in that kind of matchup.
Now here's Monroe. He's coming off a 19-point game against Miami.
And equally impressive on the backboards. I thought his rebounding was huge. And Greg Monroe really has had a good young career despite playing out of position for much of it. He has the size and skill set of an agile center, but was made to play power forward in Detroit once they drafted Andre Drummond. And that took some getting used to.
We're talking about Greg Monroe, and Greg, you gave us a nice little synopsis. He doesn't have, Clark, the long-range jumper teams are now asking out of that position in this day and age in the NBA.
Yeah, more teams want that stretch power forward. He's not super athletic. Where he does his greatest damage is in the painted area. There's still value in that.
And so Monroe nails both of them.
And what a double-double machine Greg Monroe is becoming. Top 6 for power forwards last season, top 5 for centers. And his game is only continuing to evolve.
Rondo passes to Koufos. Anderson against Middleton. Monroe, no good.
And he thought he had a clear path to the hoop, but the defense didn't give up on that play and cut him off.
That's good.
Wow, the floor just really opened up for him on that possession.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for good offense, but that was just a terrible reaction from the defense.
Well, Greg, the thing about Monroe, we knew he was a prolific scorer and a rebounder when he was a 5-star recruit out of high school. So Clark, this is nothing new for him.
I think what you see, Kevin, is the added muscle coming into play and benefiting him. He's just an average athlete, but being stronger makes him more effective.
Now here's Anderson, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Here's Vasquez, and he uses the glass on the layup.
They've wasted no time settling into their offense.
Yeah, they're lasered in. I mean, really making the most of their possession.
And here's Rondo. Still getting warmed up offensively. No buckets yet in the game for him.
Well, one of his issues is he's a player that just does not excel at fighting through contact on his way to the rim.
So for the Bucks, their last game a loss to Miami.
And you know what? A shame that either team had to lose that game because you had to be proud of the way they battled in it.
Yeah, I suppose that's right, but it still was heartbreaking. I mean, you hate to lose in OT. No matter how hard you played, you want to come out on top if you're going to play those extra minutes.
Monroe dishes to Plumlee. Off target at the rim. And that concludes the first quarter of play. The Bucks on top. They lead by 9. Stay with us as we get set to bring you the second quarter right after this. And we heard from John Henson before the game, a player on the rise. He feels he still has a lot to prove.
Defensively, offensively, I think I'm better offensively than people give me credit for, and I'm stronger than I look. And that's something that I'm trying to prove this year, as I've been proving the last 3 or 4, so it's going to be fun.
Well, it sounds like he still feels like he has something to prove, Greg, but seems to me he's already known for being that kind of guy.
Yeah, that's a great point. Anybody who plays against him knows he looks plenty strong when you're banging with him. But if he needs to push and motivate himself by playing with a chip on his shoulder, well, a lot of guys have gone a long, long way in this league using that method.
Welcome back, folks. We'll see if we're in store for a more tightly contested quarter as we move here into the second. And for the Bucks, guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
Just the way they've been able to pound that backboard. I think that's been the difference.
Establishment of a good low-post presence, a big part of the success.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, as the second quarter gets going. Setting the floor for the Bucks, we've got John Henson. Michael Carter-Williams is out there with Vaughn. Then it's Greg Monroe. And it's Copeland in at the 3 slot. And Cousins drops them both.
You know, when you look at DeMarcus Cousins, he's clearly one of the more talented and also one of the most emotional players in the game. He's also one of the most teed up.
Now here's Carter-Williams. He's coming off a 16-point game against Miami.
And what I enjoyed when watching that game was the way he balanced getting his shot and also incorporating his teammates.
Carter-Williams with it. He's covered by Collison. Here's Henson. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good.
Easy little jumper for him right there, guys.
Outside Collison. He feeds it to Bellinelli. Beyond the arc. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison. Bellinelli's got 5.
And he came off that screen, and the D just didn't get over the top of it.
Yep, weren't there in time enough to challenge Greg, and when that's the case, you can mark those up for him.
Vaughn, the pass to Monroe. He used that pick to get in close. Monroe's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number 1 for them right now.
Now a timeout called by Sacramento. They lost the last time they faced the Bucks. That one in Milwaukee.
Yeah, and their last time out against this club, turnovers really did them in. Just way too many mistakes.
Yeah, sloppy play sabotage. I mean, they'll have to be much more focused this time around.
You know, obviously, there's some things out there he does not like and wants to talk it over.
Well, Greg, you've played, and you envision yourself as a coach as well. So, sometimes you need to make some adjustments.
Screen by Cousins. Butler kicks to Bellinelli. Collison dishes to AC. Here's Cousins. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. Thinking about DeMarcus Cousins, Clark, when he was selected, people questioned whether he could stay out of trouble. Many doubted that, he could, but he has stayed clean really since day one.
Yeah, going back 5 years ago, a beat writer actually had the audacity to say he would end up in jail at some point, but Cousins has proved him and others wrong.
Now here's Carter Williams. He's been patient so far, nothing yet on the scoreboard. It's 3-on-3 on the fast break. Quarter number 2, we're about 2 minutes in. Here's Collison. Rebound by Monroe.
And with that Cousins story about the writer, Cousins actually called him out about that failed prediction. I mean, they made amends, however, with the writer eating his words and donating to a charity of Cousins' choice.
Milwaukee leading by 5. Here's Vaughn. Stolen by Collison. And a little under 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second quarter. Shot off the screen. Pulled the shot a little left, but the bounce goes his way. Collison's got his first bucket of the night.
Yeah, and for Cousins, it's never been a question of talent. I mean, many are glad to see that he's been able to stay focused really for the first stretch of his career.
And stolen by Cousins. The shot by Butler, nobody around. That falls. Great assist by Darren Collison.
Well, this here is a game. Good run to close the gap.
Yeah, they've done a great job to get back within striking distance. Really a solid comeback effort here.
Now the pass to Cousins. Butler dishes to AC. And Henson sends it back. Vaughn, the pass to Carter Williams. Nice ball movement by Milwaukee. Over to the left wing. To the left side wing. And Copeland kicks to Monroe. They need this one. No good. Nice D from Cousins. For Sacramento, they've gone 4 of 7 from the field in this second quarter so far. A baseline J. No good. Now the Bucks take it the other way. They've led by as many as 11 points. This game is finished. They'll be off to Portland taking on the Trailblazers. And that game will be game 2 of 3 straight on the road. Now here's Carter Williams. He hasn't scored yet. That I'm sure will change.
Good ball movement. He put that pass in the ideal spot, right where it needed to be.
Carter Williams against Collison. Here's the screen. Kicks to Cousins. But he stays with it. And Henson sends it back. And boy, that looked like goaltending. Yes, it is. And so they will award the basket there.
He almost got to that shot in time, but not quite. You can't touch the ball once it's on the way down.
A big group substitution here for Sacramento. Kufis checked in for Quincy Ace. Caspi comes in for Butler. Ben McLemore, he's checked in for Marco Bellinelli. Rajon Rondo is subbed in for Darren Collison. And then for Milwaukee, Miles Plumlee's checked in for Monroe. Chris Middleton comes in for Chris Copeland. And it's Vasquez in for Vaughn. Now here's Rondo, following the miss by John Henson. Cousins with a screen for Rondo. Here's McLemore. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
That's a precision shot. You've got to be precise. No room for error on the floater.
Here's Carter Williams. The scoring numbers have been solid for him. He's averaging just under 14 points a game. And that one's good. Vasquez has got his second bucket tonight.
And really smart to draw his man out to the perimeter. He's giving up too much size to be effective inside.
Showed nice basketball IQ. I agree, Greg. I mean, if he finds his spot on the perimeter and doesn't force it, I think his outside shot will be hard to block no matter who's defending it.
Now here's Vasquez. Rajon Rondo missing his last shot. Middleton with it. He's picked up by Rondo. Middleton dishes to Vasquez. He kicks it to Henson. The 11-footer, clock at 4. For 3, Middleton. That's good. Now it's a 4-point Milwaukee lead.
What are you going to do defensively? Such separation with the height advantage in that matchup.
Here's Rondo. And no good trying to get that one. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Bucks lead by 4. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sideline. Doris?
Well, Karan, what do you take away from the first half of play as to what the team needs to do when you guys come out to start the second half?
You got to come out with a lot of energy and just keep everybody involved, mentally on the court. Everybody be prepared to go out there and fulfill their role and, win the ball game, whatever it takes.
Karan, thanks for the time. Guys, back to you.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
I would call that a competitive first half of action. Ernie Johnson here welcoming you back to the 2K Sports Halftime Show with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. It's Milwaukee with the advantage at the half. They hold a 4-point lead. Kenny, what did you see from them?
Well, their playmakers were in top form tonight. They showed great court vision and great ball movement. That's why they had so many assists. It's much easier to defend guys who don't want to pass the basketball.
Shaq, what's your take on Sacramento?
2 things went on in the first half. Yes, we saw good offense take advantage of mediocre defense, but we also saw a motivated team take advantage of a team that didn't want to hustle. They need an attitude adjustment.
And that'll do it for now as the second half of our game is about to get underway. Kevin Harlan has the call.
Ladies and gentlemen,
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now.
Monroe has been all sorts of trouble for him. He's got 8 points, and he's getting it done on the glass, too.
You're right, Clark. He's done some real nice work on the inside.
And Sacramento has possession. 4-point game. Quincy Acy out there with DeMarcus Cousins. Then there's Bellinelli. Then it's Caron Butler. And it's Collison in at the point guard position. That's the group for George Karl getting going here in the second half. And yes, sir, that one drops. Cousins has gone 3 for 7 tonight.
Man, you talk about a guy that's bounced around the league since he's been in it. Darren Collison. I mean, he's played on 5 different teams in his first 6 seasons, and he's been a contributor and an impact player on all of them.
Now here's Butler. Greg Monroe unable to get his shot to go. That's good.
Almost automatic when he can get the basketball that close to the basket.
Well, defense has to be played earlier in that situation. You've got to fight to not allow him to get that position in the first place.
Here's Carter Williams. Sacramento making their last shot. Henson the pass to Monroe. He dishes it to Copeland. Can't get it to go. Now Sacramento takes it the other way. Collison against Monroe. There's a good screen. Collison kicks to Bellinelli. Here's Acy. Soft touch off the glass. Acy's got 6.
They've had assists now on their last 3 baskets.
And it's not just their passing, but also the body movement off the ball that's created a lot of those opportunities.
And Milwaukee calls their first time out of the game.
just not happy with how his team is playing, and they just have been on the wrong side of this run.
Yeah, and you know what, Greg? Sometimes just a pause in the action, which is what a timeout can give you, is enough to change things around.
Jared Bayless has checked in for Michael Carter Williams. Here's Copeland. He's got 5. The feed to Monroe. Lets it go with a 3. Copeland, good. He's got 8.
Back-to-back threes for him. The defense is slacking off a little.
You've got to respect that 3, or you'll give up points in a hurry.
Offensive rebound. Butler dishes to Cousins. Pass to Bellinelli. Screen by Cousins. And Bellinelli kicks to Cousins. Passes it to Bellinelli. And for 3, Collison. They get the rebound. And the dunk by AC. Clark, third quarter here, and 5 lead changes so far.
Yeah, it's really been a bit of a tug of war. Back and forth we go.
And guys, neither team has been able to pull away.
Middleton. And it's Sacramento with the rebound.
And they're 1 of 4 here to start the second half. And Jason Kidd has seen a lot of things in his first few years of coaching. Already changed teams once and had some personnel issues, but you cannot deny that he knows how to get the most out of his teams.
And with Kidd, the results on the floor, Greg, speak for themselves. He knows what he wants out of his players, Clark, and he keeps them accountable.
And, you know, having that accountability is what made the Bucks so much better last season. Kidd is still a very young head coach, but I tell you what, he's shown me a bright future in that capacity for himself.
Anderson, he's checked in for Bellinelli. And Cousins drops them both. Just under 2.5 minutes into the third quarter now. And Bayless kicks to Monroe. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line.
Nice work to get it inside and draw the contact.
Exactly. The defense determined not to allow the easy layup right there. They'll settle for making him earn the free throws.
And that one falls for Greg Monroe. And so Monroe nails both of them. A touch over 2.5 minutes of basketball played here in the third quarter. Screen by Cousins. Rebound by Monroe. Monroe's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Out left to the wing. And Jared Bayless the bucket on the assist by Monroe. Monroe's got his 3rd assist on the night. Outside Collison. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a 3-point play.
They should continue to get the ball inside. The defense struggling to contain them.
And when you make 5 in a row in close like that, it also takes pressure off your perimeter guys, too.
Caspi, he's checked in for Sacramento. Milwaukee also making some changes. Plumlee comes in for John Henson, and it's Vasquez in for Chris Copeland. A strong season from Darren Collison cut short last year. Greg shut down at the end of last February.
Yeah, he had that issue with his hip, and that kind of ended things for him in what had been a promising season. A shame, since he was having the best of his career to date.
Third quarter of basketball here, and just a little under 3.5 minutes gone by. Outside Butler. Anderson outside. Screen by Cousins. Outside Collison. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Anderson passes to Caspi. Wide open look. Good. He hits the jump shot. And Sacramento leads by 2.
And they're scoring much more efficiently here in the second half, and they've gotten that field goal percentage above 50.
I tell you what, any team will take that. I mean, if you're shooting over 50%, it means you're getting the kind of looks you want on offense, and you're being smart about it. and you're knocking down the good shots that you get.
And guys, right now, the defense mentally not there. Can't afford too many of those in a close game like this.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Almost a free run, don't you think? Clark to the hoop for him there.
Momentum can swing on plays like that, Kevin, especially when the finish has that much thunder on it.
Outside Collison. Here's Butler. Rejected by Monroe. Collison kicks to Cousins. The dish to Butler. Anderson outside. That one off the back iron and out. The Bucks have gone 4 of 7 to get things started here in the second half. Middleton outside. From past the arc. That falls. Great assist by Vasquez. And now it's a 3-point Milwaukee lead.
And just a step ahead of the D in that possession there, making the pass. Nice assist.
Butler kicks to Cousins. Poked away. Stolen by Middleton.
And with the time left, they still can go 2 for 1.
Boy, they've got to do it fast. They must hurry from here. Boy, they've gone on this run, and ball movement has been a big key.
It really has, Clark. The defense unable to react as quickly as necessary in terms of dealing with their passing.
And so here's Sacramento after the basket by Milwaukee. And Butler gets it to go.
Excellent feed from D.C., Darren Collison.
Bucks leading by 3. Shot and game clock separated by 5. Here is Bayless. He's covered by Collison. Off the screen. Monroe dishes to Plumlee. Good. And the Bucks lead by 5.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Well, when you look at the assist totals, heck, they've been clearly the better team.
Here's Cousins. Off on the layup. And as we end the third quarter, a great game. Both teams playing well. Bucks ahead. They're up by 5. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. And we're set to start the action up here in the fourth quarter. And if it's anything like the first 3, we should be in for a treat. Milwaukee's gone 4-6 from outside the arc tonight. And Milwaukee, looking at who they've got. We've got Vasquez. Miles Plumlee out there with John Henson. Then it's Michael Carter-Williams. And it's Copeland in at the 3. And it's sent back by Plumlee. They retain possession. Now Bellinelli. Over Carter-Williams, but they'll get another chance. McLemore, no good. Milwaukee leading by 5. To the inside, it's tipped. Copeland the pass to Vasquez. Just 5 to shoot. Dishes it to Carter-Williams. Here's Plumlee. Sacramento grabs the miss. They push it up 4 on 3. Lays it up, and despite of the excellent defense at that, Rondo's got the fourth quarter going with the first basket of the period here for Sacramento. And here's Vasquez to the paint. Here's Plumlee. The rim-rattling two-handed jam.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Sacramento trails by 5. Clark, they've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a little bit of cottonmouth here. Dry spell for sure.
Carter-Williams against Rondo. The 11-footer. Got a hand on it. To the paint. Now here's McLemore. Defense is right there. Koufos. Plumlee with some nice D.
And this is why you need good defenders on the interior to contest shots.
Yeah, Greg, making every shot a hard one, even the shots in close.
For Sacramento, they've gone just 1 of 6 from the field to start the fourth quarter. A bit of a slowdown for them right now. Outside Rondo. Pass to Bellinelli. Wide open look. Sacramento again missing.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
From deep. And a clear foul there as he shot the triple. He'll go to the line for 3 free throws. Marco Bellinelli picks one up.
Yeah, there was definitely some contact there on the three-point attempt.
You have to avoid fouls like that. As a defender, challenge the three-point shooter, but run by him, not into him.
All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. A scoring breakdown for Milwaukee.
They keep piling up the assists, and they haven't cooled off at all.
It's been a hot shooting night for them, too. I mean, they've hit a lot of those mid-range jump shots.
Here's what Milwaukee's going with right now. Monroe comes in for Plumlee, and it's Vaughn in for Vasquez. And he nails the third.
Well, the game's getting bigger, going international. But at least in the U.S., it really seems the game is going indoors. Back in the day, the legends of the game still played on the blacktop. That's becoming a thing of the past.
Here's AC. Feeds it to McLemore. 5 on the clock. That's a 2 from Bellinelli. And once again off the mark by Sacramento. And speaking, Clark, of playground basketball, why do you think that is, that the players are going indoors?
Well, I think one reason is playing on hardwood is nicer. It's easier on your joints and safer overall. The game has changed and it's big business now, but there are still plenty of weekend warriors who get their hoop on outside.
And look, rightfully disappointed with how they've played here over the course of this run.
Yeah, you know, they haven't looked good at all here lately. Something has to change for him, and we'll see what he's got coming out of the timeout.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Yes, Kevin, over that break, I was able to catch the message George Karl was giving to his team. He said, listen, we've come this far. Now we've got to lay it on the line to get a win. I know we can do it. So show them what you got and let's make it happen. Guys, we'll see if they can do it.
And that assist got him a little nod from his teammate after that one.
And the pass to Henson. And now the fast break, Rondo with the ball. And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a three-point play.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
Sacramento making a switch here. Collison's out there, and stolen by Cousins. Kicks it to Butler. No good on the shot, a bit long that time.
You know, not really a significant margin in terms of them rebounding, but enough to get the job done.
Yeah, but one more advantage in the stat column, and that's what's translated to this lead.
There's 1:54 left in the fourth quarter of this one. If it goes in, and the Milwaukee lead is cut down now to just 6, and the basket from DeMarcus Cousins.
I mean, he's just been brilliant today, guys, and it was the same exact story last time out.
Now here's Carter Williams. He feeds it to Copeland. He kicks to Monroe. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2. It's on DeMarcus Cousins. Good on the first, and that makes it a 7-point lead. And so both free throws are good, and it's an 8-point game. Now a timeout called by Sacramento. They're behind by 8. 1:29 left in the fourth quarter. Goes up off the inbound, and the shot is good. The Bucks lead has been cut down to just 6 points on the bucket from Bellinelli.
They ran that inbounds play perfectly there to get the quick hitter.
Now a timeout called by Milwaukee. They lead by 6. 1:27 left to play in the final quarter. Butler with the steal. And they're moving it up. Rebounded by the Bucks. Copeland's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
And not a night he's going to want to remember, just not really able to score the basketball.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Hi, Kevin. Jason Kidd was just going over the plan with his team. He told them he wouldn't accept them settling for outside shots and said we can get to the rim if we attack the basket, and that's what we're going to do. He said also that their offense needs to be a patient one. He told them, don't rush things. Use as much of that shot clock as you need to. It's pretty late in the game to be altering the game plan, but they're going to come out with a different look here, guys. Back to you.
And thank you for that, Doris. .116 left in the fourth quarter, and they get it back. Butler kicks to Collison. Sacramento moving it around. Now the feed to Butler. That doesn't go either for Butler.
And they're controlling the boards, Kevin. That's +5 in that category.
And guys, you know that rebounding is a huge part, a huge component of winning games. It's not a glamour stat, but it's necessary if you're going to be a winning team.
Cousins, second chance shot. He takes it up and lays it in.
The tenacity on the interior, just battling, bringing that effort and will for second chance points.
Middleton dishes to Henson.
It's going to take something special for them to come back now.
Well, I would say something special and some luck as well, or good fortune, however you want to phrase it.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. And he commits the intentional foul.
That's his first personal foul at the line.
And he cannot get the first one to drop. Tough one to miss.
At the line.
So he comes up empty, missing both. And it's Sacramento's ball. They trail by 6. Collison, the pass to Cousins. And that's an intentional foul.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
But there was no time really to be selective. Stopping the clock was the priority.
2 shots.
And he misses the first one. Boy, he wanted that one to fall. And he ends up making the second, and that makes it a 7-point lead. Now a timeout called by Sacramento. They're down by 7. 16 seconds left in the game. What do you think, guys?
You know, you like the fight all the way to the end, but let's face it, guys, this one's over.
Yeah, I agree with you, and I really think you shouldn't be allowed to call timeouts if late in the ball game if there's no chance for it to do any good on the scoreboard.
Collison kicks to McLemore. Sinks it, and now they trail by just 4. It's stolen by McLemore. It's stolen. They foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
Yeah, you know what? Smart foul. You got to try and extend the game.
Sure. It's not over. The clock is as much a problem for them as the score is right now, so they've got to try to manage it.
And so he drops them both. It's a 6-point ball game.
That ought to do it. I think any chance for a miracle comeback just went out the window with those freebies.
Bellinelli for three. Cans the three. From deep. No good. And so it's the Bucks who come out on top here. This win, such a tremendous emotional boost for them.
Really an accomplishment and crazy finish to take a road game like this and simply deflate an entire building.
And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. For Clark, Greg, and Doris, and the rest of our terrific crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. Now time to head over to the studio where the award-winning Ernie Johnson is with Shaq and Kenny, all standing by. Guys, take it away.
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Ernie Johnson here again with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith. Without further ado, let's present to you our Jordan Player of the Game, Greg Monroe. What are your thoughts, Kenny?
Greg Monroe was doing what he does best. He produced a massive game for them in locking down this win. The thing I like about him most is that a coach can use him in multiple ways. You can play him at power forward or center, and he can be just as good.
They were riding a 2-game losing streak coming to this game and could not afford to drop 3 in a row. He rose to the occasion for them tonight, big time. They needed this sort of performance for him. He took his game up a few notches. Love it, Ernie.
And that wraps things up, folks. Thanks for joining us. For Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith, Kevin Harlan, and the rest of the 2K Sports crew, I'm Ernie Johnson. Good night, everybody.